really hard. So
days like today, you're like, is it worth it? No, absolutely not. But it's what we push each other, we push ourselves, and push our team to win these races and championships, and it's what drives us forward, man. It's what we love. And then you see that happening to Dan, and you just go, you know what? It doesn't matter.
And this will be the way that all of us will remember Dan Whelden at the race he loved and cherished so much, drinking the milk in Victory Lane. Dan Whelden was 33.
Jeff Belskis, who is the president and CEO of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Corporation, released the following statement, quote, "We are incredibly saddened at the passing of Dan Whelden. He was a great champion of the Indianapolis 500 and a wonderful ambassador for the race, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and all of motorsports. Most importantly, he was a fantastic husband, father, and man, a good friend to so many in the sport. His memory will live forever at the Speedway, both through the magnitude of his accomplishments on the track and his magnetism off the track. Our deepest sympathies are extended to his entire family, team, and fans."
We mentioned earlier this was the first racing fatality in the IndyCar series since 2006 when Paul Dano was killed in a practice crash at Homestead Miami Speedway. That's a race Dan Whelden actually went on to win.
Wow. 5 years later, what could have been a day of celebration in Las Vegas instead was only tragic with the passing of Dan Whelden. Said Chip Ganassi, Whelden's former car owner, everybody in IndyCar died a little Sunday. Jeremy Schaap has more.
If he hadn't been so talented behind the wheel of cars that raced over 200 miles per hour, Dan Whelden might have been a professional wit or comedic actor. He was funny. Not funny for a great race car driver, just funny. In a sports landscape no longer populated by big personalities, but by armies of media-trained robots, Whelden was a throwback to the glory days of open-wheel racing, when drivers like Mario Andretti, A.J. Foyt, and Al Unser stalked the track and gobbled up news film. He could delight with his English accent and expert timing.
Well, you just walked away there in that final 25 laps.
And I'm glad you think I walked away with it. It was pretty tough.
Of course, there was nothing funny about the career Whelden pursued so well, or the manner in which he pursued it. It's been said that auto racing and boxing are the only real sports, because the specter of death hangs over them, and everything else is a game. Like everyone else in his chosen profession, Whelden knew the risks, and routinely defied them. Whelden grew up on road courses in Great Britain, but achieved greatness on the ovals of North America. One oval in particular, the one that matters most. At the 2005 Indy 500, Whelden, at the time 26 years old, became the first Englishman to win the race since Graham Hill in 1966. Driving in a car co-owned by Michael Andretti, who competed 14 times in the 500 without ever winning, Whelden gave his boss the ultimate vicarious thrill.
The checkered flag is out in Indianapolis, and the pubs are open in the UK. Dan Whelden has just won the Indianapolis 500.
But Whelden's victory was more than overshadowed. It was eclipsed by the achievements of Danica Patrick, who was racing in her first 500 and who became the first woman ever to lead the race for so much as a lap, eventually finishing fourth. In the wake of the Danica deluge, Whelden wasn't shy about pointing out who'd finished first. After 2005, Whelden would continue to race brilliantly on Memorial Day in Indianapolis. Averaging a 7th place finish in his 9 500s, he was among the best of his generation. But this year, Whelden found himself unemployed after parting ways with the Panther Racing team, which he'd sued for back pay. Then, with the 500 approaching, he signed a one-race contract with Brian Herta Autosport. When, on the final lap, with victory all but assured, J.R. Hildebrand, who replaced Whelden at Panther, hit the wall, it was Whelden who took the checkered flag. The irony was rich, far from lost on Whelden.
There's a lot of great storylines today, and I want to say hi to my family back home and my mother. It's just an incredible day.
Again, Whelden was the winner, but not the story. Still without a full-time ride, Whelden spent much of the rest of the year on the team that was developing the next generation of Indy cars, which will be introduced to competition in 2012. This week, Whelden was back on the track, still in the old-style Indy car, for the season finale in Las Vegas. He was eager to capitalize on a possible $2.5 million payday. As part of the sponsor gimmick, a randomly chosen fan would also have won $2.5 million, only if Whelden had won. Whelden died Sunday in Las Vegas in a horrific pileup. His death ultimately a throwback too, to the days when fatal crashes were all too commonplace. If he'd been born 30 or 40 years earlier, in time to compete during IndyCar's heyday, Whelden would have been a household name. In a sport now struggling to find its footing, he was a gift, his driving skills matched only by his ability to charm. Whelden, who was 33, leaves behind his wife Susie and sons Sebastian and Oliver.